everybody, and welcome to I Got This with LEX and MGP. I am Lex, and I've been a personal trainer over the last 5 years. Martha has been my client for 3 years, and over that time, she has lost over 50 pounds and changed her entire perspective on life. Join us each week as we dive into health, mindset, and everything in between. And we are back. Welcome back, everybody. All right, today we're going to talk about water, H2O, baby. So, MGP, I got a question for you. How much water did you drink prior to starting your fitness journey?
What was water? I mean, I did. Obviously, if I was thirsty, I might have a glass of water, but I didn't really track it. And so it was very interesting when I did start tracking it with my first trainer. And that first beginning, she was pushing me to get to 48 ounces, like pushing me. Yeah. And it was rough.
And isn't that shocking? Like, okay, so the amount of clients I sit down with prior to training, they're like, oh, I drink so much water. I carry my water bottle everywhere. And the funny thing is people are like, I carry my water bottle everywhere. Guess what? How many times in the day do you actually pick up and drink your water bottle?
Well, I did that in the beginning.
Yeah.
I did that. It was like an accessory.
Yeah, you're like, I
have this cute water bottle.
Yes, this is my accessory. Look at how, in shape and healthy I am with my water. I'm so hydrated. I'm glowing, right?
Yeah, and I got a big one, too, in the beginning. I got a 40-ouncer.
Yes.
And I would fill it up at 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And guess what? It still had water in it when I went to bed.
Yes, and you're like, oh, and you don't even realize. You're like, oh, my God, I drank so much water today. And every time I sit down with somebody in a consultation, they tell me they drink so much water, and I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, okay, so they drink none. Unless you're tracking your water daily, I guarantee your water count is below 50 ounces. Let's talk about ounces real quick.
Yeah.
Okay. Think about a normal plastic water bottle, like a Dasani or a Mountain,
like the disposables?
Yeah. How many ounces is that?
16, 17, I think.
Yeah, 16.
Yeah. Point something.
Yeah, 16.
So 16 to 17,
yeah,
something
exactly.
like that.
Something along those lines. Now double that.
32.
That's your bigger, like Yeti-sized bottles. Yep. And now you think about those giant, like those big jugs that everybody have.
The 40-ouncers?
Yes, exactly. Yep. And then there are people who carry around actual gallons.
Yeah.
Right? So
you always see the weightlifters with like the old milk jugs.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
No, that's still a thing. People do that.
I know. Oh, I see the boys at school with that. The wrestlers and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, too funny. And then like a glass of water at home.
Could be 8, could be 12, depending on the size of the glass.
Exactly. Yep. So just giving you a reference point, people think they're drinking a lot of water. You might have had 2 glasses today if you're working from home or something like that. But
but you think you're hydrating because you're drinking other stuff.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So what is water? Like, okay, let's talk about that. What things prior to your fitness journey did you think were water?
Coffee.
Not water.
But it's made with water. Where did it go? Where did the water go?
Where did the water go? Well, that thing you put in there, the caffeine, is a diuretic, right? So it makes you pee. So it actually dehydrates you, which, coffee's not bad for you. That's another question I get is, was coffee bad for you? Like, coffee's not bad for you. If you don't put anything in it, it just raises your heart rate a little bit. There's actually data that shows that it's good for your heart because it strengthens it. If your heart's pumping, don't drink like 6 cups a day, right?
Couple.
Yeah. Maybe 1 or 2. Yeah. Right. That's healthy. But it's not necessarily bad for you.
Right.
It's when you start putting a bunch of cream and sugar.
Yeah.
Which we
whip it into a frappuccino then.
Oh my God.
Then it's just a milkshake.
You're giving me a heart attack, yes.
I don't like them, so it's fine.
I know. A lot of our people out there do.
I know.
So give me another one.
So things that you think are water that aren't.
Yes.
I used to drink a lot of iced tea. Also a diuretic.
So that's
Same
probably
exact
idea as coffee, so no.
Fortunately, I'm not a pop drinker. Soda for those people not in Michigan, but I know a lot of people think that's counts.
You know what is really interesting to me, which I'm a young trainer, so I'm still learning. The biggest thing I think is learning people's mindsets towards health and wellness and understanding what they think is health and wellness and what feels good to them. So if something feels good, a lot of people think, oh, then it must be like good for me, right? But for instance, pop feels like it's hydrating you, right? Pop feels refreshing. And So like I have people say, well, it's the only thing that either gives me good energy or is like super refreshing to me. And it's so shocking to me because that's literally just sugar in a cup. It's literally sugar in a cup. It's got so many carcinogens. It is so unbelievably bad for you, but it feels like it's hydrating. You're like, oh my God, I'm so refreshed.
I have a lot of friends that drink a lot of like Diet Coke, let's say.
Yes.
Too. Yeah. And they were like, that's healthy. It's diet.
No, that is not healthy.
I just don't even like it, but
yeah.
I do know, but I get a lot of people do.
Exactly.
And they're addicted almost to it.
Exactly. So that's a hard one. The amount of people out there that like just grew up on pop too, right? Like just had them sitting around, and just are used to the taste. That's a hard one to break. And replacing water like with pop, is like the key to getting you through like drinking more water. Like you can't have both, you'll be too full. Pop fills you up. It's almost like it's equivalent to like a meal almost if you drink a whole can of pop. That's a few hundred calories.
Well, I mean, I grew up where you only had pop if you were sick.
Oh, wow.
So to me, it's medicinal.
Yeah,
so I don't
ginger
like
ale or something.
Yeah, well, Verner's up here.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
If you were ill, you had Verner's.
That's too funny.
Or sometimes flattened Coke, like if you had a stomach ache or something.
Right. Yeah.
So that's why, to me, I think I just never grew up with pop as being something fun.
Well, your mom was in healthcare too, so maybe she just like wasn't as used to it.
But not that we ate healthy, but but we just didn't have pop.
Just didn't have pop. It just wasn't in the around. Yeah, we never ever had it. I think the only what I identify as pop is I think of going to the movies and getting the Coke slushies.
Oh yeah, slushie's a whole nother deal.
Yes,
going to 7-Eleven for a Slurpee. Come on.
Yes, that's also not water, but yeah. So but that's a really really hard one to break. It's it's like very addictive. Sugar is addictive. A can of pop is sugar.
Caffeine in there.
Caffeine, also very addictive. That's a very hard one to break. And if you are looking to see any sort of results, that's one that you have to cut down on for sure. And don't even think it's easy. Not a single person should believe that that's easy. The other thing that I've learned are really good is I know somebody who will take 2 sips of a pop and then throw it all away. Like they get that flavor and then they'll just toss it in the trash or pour it down the drain.
Wow,
like,
that's some discipline.
Yeah, I know. 2 or 3 sips, toss it right down. So that is one of my favorite because sometimes it just tastes good with a burger. So I like that option as well.
That's funny.
What else can you think of?
You think might be water? Yeah. Some of the other drinks I know, like my husband will be like, "Oh, I had a cold beer." Like beer's mostly water.
I'm currently rolling my eyes.
Well, he's used
Do I have to address that one?
Not as much anymore. He doesn't drink beer as much anymore. Yeah. But he used to actually brew beer, and he's like, "It's mostly water. Look."
No.
But a lot of people
he was
think
kidding, right?
No. Probably yes,
but no, not everybody.
But yes, but no,
no, exactly. Because another thing, it's also refreshing, so you feel like it's.
Well, if you're drinking, you're going to think beer is more like water than
exactly
hard liquor or wine or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. I mean, think about when you're out in the summer and you're golfing or you're playing sports or you're outside. Everyone's drinking a cold beer,
exactly,
on the boat or whatever.
Yeah. So that's the other. That's
it feels hydrating and refreshing.
It's not. Psych. No, that absolutely does not count as water. I don't even know how to describe that. I wish I need to come back with more facts on that one, honestly.
we probably actually need to do an episode on drinking.
We will.
Because that's a question we get asked a lot as well.
Yeah.
What about like fruit? Like if you have watermelon or things
that's
like that?
a good question. You're definitely getting some water in. Like that's way better than pop.
I mean, I know it doesn't count as my ounces, but
no, it's definitely
it's
good
hydrating.
for you. It's hydrating your body for sure. Its natural waters are in that because it's made of water, right?
So I think what I'm hearing from you is unless it's called water, it's not water.
Yes, exactly. Now there are things that help people drink water because I know a lot of people actually do not like the taste of water. Personally, I've never understood that.
It has no taste.
That's what I think. But I hear a lot people are like, "Oh, it tastes like metally," or just like ugh, or like they have a hard time like forcing it down their throat, which is a legit thing. If you don't like the taste of something, that would be horrible.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
especially if you've got to drink as much as we need to.
Exactly. So there are ways to get through that. Like I love the Noom electrolyte tablets because those have nothing horrible added in them. They're truly just like that's flavor, and it's almost like got like a poppy feel. It's
a little fizzy.
Yeah, it's a little fizzy.
Effervescent, maybe that's the word.
I like that. Effervescent, yes. And that tastes good. I like those.
I like those too.
Yeah.
They actually have ones with caffeine and without too.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, I
It's like just a slight little caffeine. It's like half a cup of coffee.
Just a little
kick in the morning sometimes.
I like that actually. Oh, you know what? Those ones I like. They are they have a bunch of B vitamins in them.
The B12. Oh, the Zip Fizzes.
Oh my God.
That's my husband's addicted to those.
Those are good. Those will get you wired though, but
Yeah.
they got a lot of B vitamins.
Yeah, it's like
vitamins.
B12, 1,000%
Yes.
your daily. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot. I would probably count that as, I think he counts that as water.
He does.
I count that as water for sure.
Yeah, because he doesn't really drink coffee too much. So
Yeah.
that's kind of his little kick.
Yeah, but anything that has added sugar is something I'm not going to count as water by any means because it's just not doing what you need it to
There's
do.
a lot of those, like Liquid IV is one, but that one has like 50 calories, so I think it has some sugar in it.
It might,
But
we'll have to look at that.
Yeah, and LMNT, it's an Element,
Yeah.
the same thing. They're kind of like competitors to Noon. Yeah.
Oh yeah, exactly. There we
Yeah.
go. So you just got to make sure you're looking at what's in it.
So if I use one of those, I can count that water then. Is what you're saying.
Yes, as long as
I'm checking in with my trainer. Can I count that?
Yes, you can, as long as it's got very like limited additives.
Yeah.
As like
well,
sugar.
usually if it's like 5 calories or less.
Yeah, then you're in a good boat.
Yeah, 'cause
naturally.
it's not stuck.
Yeah, exactly.
Because those are really good, especially I find in the summer if you're really sweaty, like on a long bike ride, that kind of thing, outside in the heat.
That's the thing. Also, electrolytes are so important, and that's not really talked about. A lot of people. Okay, so let's talk about electrolytes real quick. Electrolytes are basically salt, right? Your body needs a certain pH balance to properly run. And a lot of people then don't eat enough salt in their food. I think most of us are like, salt that baby up because it's not healthy for you, right? So it isn't.
Well, you've got us off all the processed food.
Exactly. I know.
So now we don't have the salt.
So you don't have the salt.
Right.
So it's just like finding it. There's balance with everything, right? But when you're working out so hard, your body does need electrolytes. So you have to make sure you're offsetting it with some sorts of salts as well. So, for instance, if you're working out super hard and you're sweating, that's why Gatorade for so long was like this thing for athletes, even though it's got a lot of sugar. Some of them are getting better now, right?
Right.
But when like they had electrolytes in them, there's a lot of salt. Which
Well, it started for the Florida football team. That's what it's from. Hence Gator.
Oh yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, and it's hot down there, right?
So they're under all their equipment. Yeah.
So they were like sweating too much. So like, that salt is good for you. You do need a certain amount of it, and a lot of people forget that too. People just naturally think salt bad. No, that's not the case. So
I mean, certain health conditions, obviously.
Yeah,
High
that's
blood
the
pressure.
thing. You always have to be aware of your own health issues, or where your body is at. Everybody's different. Don't overdo it on the electrolytes.
Yes.
There's balance everywhere. So
Exactly.
yeah. Let's talk about.
Wait, I thought of another one. Does it count? So before Gatorade, you may not know this. Do you remember that they used to drink pickle juice to get hydrated?
Are you serious?
I am 100% serious.
Really?
Yeah. Then they invented Gatorade.
Oh.
So
Well, it's probably to get salt in,
It was.
I guess.
That's 100% what it was.
Wow, because isn't that just basically like it's zucchinis?
Cucumbers.
Oh, no! That's embarrassing.
We will not be doing a Cooking with Lex episode anytime soon.
Awkward. But like it's just salt and water, and then
It's
that's
the brine.
sitting in there. It's the brine from it. Yeah. Oh my God, that's so embarrassing. Whatever. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, yeah, that makes sense. But I didn't know that was a thing.
So yeah, there's your like MGP trivia of the
I
day.
like that. Well, let's talk about like what water actually does for you. Okay, so number one, we've all heard this. The more water you drink, the less hungry you are. Why?
Because you're filled up with the water.
Yeah. The thing is, have you ever thought like, oh my God, I'm so hungry, and then went and chugged a water, like just to see if that was the case and you're actually just super dehydrated?
Yeah, I have done that. That was a trick that my previous trainer made me do.
Yeah.
If you think you're hungry, I want you to drink at least 8 ounces of water first.
Minimum. Just try it first.
Because clearly you're only getting 12 ounces a day anyway, so drink 8 ounces
Yes.
and then decide.
And then decide.
Yes.
Exactly. You have to try
I think
that
I had to wait
first.
5 minutes too. Drink 8 ounces and wait 5 minutes.
That's a great one. I actually have never come up with like, if you're hungry, drink 8 ounces, wait 5 minutes, and then try.
And if you're hungry, have an apple.
That's
That's what
great.
she would say.
That's
and if you're like,
really-
I don't want an apple, then you're not hungry.
Yeah. Wow, I like that. Oh my gosh, that's a good one. whew, that's intense, but I do like that.
But she said it really nicely.
But then have an apple, and if you're, soft spoken. Anyways, very kindly. No, so it is like an appetite suppressant. You're actually probably dehydrated. Most people are really dehydrated. They don't even realize it, which is crazy. You got to fill your stomach up with water. Increases calorie burn, right? We may have talked about that. It increases your metabolism. The also really important thing here too is water. Muscles are mostly made out of water, right? If you're not drinking enough water, you're not able to build muscle. So therefore, as we know, muscle helps increase your metabolism. So therefore, it's all connected. Does that make sense? Yeah,
absolutely.
Cool. One of my favorite things about water is it helps your brain.
Alrighty.
No, seriously. It
No,
does
it is.
help your brain cells communicate properly, which like, have you ever chugged water and been like, oh my God, I can actually like think like a normal person. Like I feel clearer minded.
That's actually, and I was kind of smirking at you when you said it, but it's actually true. And as a teacher, we encourage the students to have water for the same reason.
Oh, good.
Because when the kids get dehydrated, we can tell that their academic performance goes down.
How crazy.
So
I'm so happy
a lot of
you teach them this.
A lot of the teachers, like the older teachers or whatever, I don't want to stereotype, but they wouldn't allow the children to have water bottles with them or
I remember
whatever.
that. We couldn't have water
Yeah,
in
now it's
school.
encouraged.
That's amazing.
So we just have to make sure it's water.
Yeah.
But
And now with COVID, you're like, let me just put my finger in there and make sure it's water and taste it.
No, and what I meant by that is like they were trying to bring coffee and stuff.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I would definitely sneak that.
And I don't care if it's
I
having
don't know,
water
at 18
too.
years old, I might have been sneaking this stuff.
But no, and yes, we are still in masks because it's pandemic time. But yeah, they can have water and they just have straw cups or whatever.
Yeah,
yeah, it's fine.
That's good. That's really good.
Yeah, no, we put in bottle fillers all through the buildings now, and that's a whole change or whole shift, I guess, in thinking from the old days of not letting them have anything. Yeah.
That makes me so happy, like unbelievably happy that things are progressing from the times that we were in school.
Oh yeah. Well, I went to school. I had nuns. We just had to sit there and be quiet.
Yeah, sit there and shush. Mine wasn't quite like that, but definitely public school, definitely different. Oh, good. I like that. Okay, so now I want to talk about how much water to drink.
Okay.
So every time I ask people this, how much do you think you should be drinking? It's an older mindset. A lot of people tell me they should be drinking half of their body weights. That is actually unbelievably low of water, right? Okay. So like I'm just gonna say mine it would be low for me, right? It would be low for most people.
Well, you probably drink 100 ounces a day.
Yeah, well, I should be.
Yeah,
do I every day? No, but I should.
Close to it,
yes. Yeah.
And you're not 200 pounds, so
no, exactly. So that's the thing. I found this awesome website that said, now, again, everybody's body's different, and you have to listen to what your body needs. And so just remember that this is not a recommendation, but women should be drinking anywhere from like 80 to 90 ounces. Again, this is dependent on how much you move, how much you're doing, how much you're sitting, how much you're eating, all these different factors. They're very, very crucial, and they do affect us, and men should be drinking anywhere from 100 to 125 ounces, which was actually the more accurate read to what I recommend to my clients versus what I've heard like past is like half your body weight in ounces, right? So
that's what I've heard too.
Yeah, which is like, I think very low, depending on the person, but could be.
And I think you find your sweet spot too.
Yeah.
Like I know mine's around 100.
Yeah.
Just because I'm working out hard every day. I mean, I'll drink, 24, 20, 30 just during workout. So
yeah.
Definitely more on the days I work out. Definitely when it's hotter out.
Yep.
I also drink a lot of water when I'm working because my literal whole job is to talk.
Exactly. So your mouth gets dry too. So things like that. I mean, talking does burn calories. Let's be real. It does.
I need to pick it up then.
No, it does. No, really, you do. Talking burns, like your brain is on, you're functioning, you're moving. So that's a big one too. So finding that sweet spot is super crucial. The other thing I tell my clients when they start to drink more water, number one is logging for sure. You should be logging your water 100%, no questions asked. Log how many ounces you're drinking daily. Otherwise, I can guarantee you're not hitting what you need to hit.
Oh, you 100% are going to think you're drinking more than you are until you start logging. Because
Exactly.
I did. I'm like, oh, I'm totally drinking like 75 ounces a day. Or 20.
Exactly. The other thing that people like say to me is, well, I'm going to have to pee all the time. So number one, I am a trainer, so I can just like say in a session, hey, hang on real quick, I'm going to go to the bathroom. So it's easy, right?
Have we even trained where you haven't done that to me?
No, I probably do that like every few, like there, and I have you at like the same time of the night. So like there's certain people I like pee every day at like what, 7? So like, I'm so sorry, this is the time I go.
Clearly I'm on your schedule somehow.
Yes. I'm sorry. I don't know.
I'm actually not teasing you because I work in a high school and every time the bell rings, it's like
Yes.
Pavlov's dog. I'm off to the ladies' room.
Exactly. So that's the other thing. There are people who have jobs where it's like really hard. So let's talk about that. Like, how do you handle that when you're like, I literally can't go to the bathroom right now?
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be harder in some jobs than mine. Obviously, the bell rings once an hour, so I have, I can go every hour.
Right.
But there are times, you're like, well, but it becomes easier as well. So when I first started increasing my water intake,
Yeah.
My bladder was screaming at times because it just wasn't used to it. But then your body kind of adapts.
Yes. Yeah.
I've noticed.
It does.
And now I can absolutely, it's not a problem. So my body just gets used to it.
Yeah.
And there's always a little shock in September when I go back to school because in the summer you can kind of just, do what you want when you need to. So I always got to get back into bladder shape come September. But
I love that bladder shape. Oh my God.
There's some truth to that.
No, exactly. And it's probably easier for people working from home too, which is awesome.
For sure.
That's made it easier. But the thing that I have had definitely have a hard time coaching women who have had babies. Like, that's a hard one. I mean, if you gotta go, you gotta go. And sometimes you don't really have control over that.
Right. And I have so many friends that, they'll say, oh, I sneezed and wet my pants.
Yes.
Or cough.
I mean,
or
it's
whatever.
coming for me for sure one day. When that day
and
comes.
I have had 2 kids, and I'm fortunate that I don't have that incontinence issue. But I know it is a real problem for some people.
Right. Yeah.
And it's an embarrassing problem too, as well.
Yeah.
But it's really pretty common.
Yeah.
And you just have to find ways, I guess, to get
around it and find. And some people who get up in the middle of the night have a hard time with that, or can't sleep because of it, and then like wake up. So sometimes I'll say, okay, we'll get all your water in by 6 or 7 p.m. And then you'll get it out of your system, and then go to sleep at night or something.
I do actually. I mean, was a huge thing when you were talking about that, because at first I'd be like, oh, I got 30 ounces to go, and it's like 8 o'clock at night, and I'm chugging 30 ounces. And then at 2 a.m, I'm like, oh.
You're like, are you kidding me? I'm not getting out of bed. I'll just risk wetting the bed.
Well, I'm sure my husband would love that. But, so that was one thing I had to adjust, is trying to get more in up front.
Yes.
So I actually use an app on my phone to track. In the beginning, I actually put rubber bands around my water bottle.
Oh, that's a good one.
And would move them up and down to keep track, because I could never remember if this was the second time I'd filled the bottle or the third time or whatever.
I used to take a pen, because I was used to have a pen with me. Now I use it like an iPad, but like I would write it on my wrist like a high schooler, like 1, 2, 3. It was ridiculous.
Honestly, now there's a lot of free apps.
Yes.
So I have an Apple Watch, and it's on my phone as well, and I can just log it in there.
Yes.
But you can also it'll send you reminders like, hey, you still need to drink another 25 ounces today. And I set them so it's early enough in the day that I'm not chugging at 8 o'clock at night.
I like that.
And trying to do that. So that is really helpful.
Now, here are 2 tools that I do love. Okay, so this is my favorite. I do, and this is probably just me, and it probably won't last forever because it probably will wake me up in the middle of the night, but I chug water before bed. Like, chug an entire water bottle sometimes. It's the most ridiculous thing. But when I wake up in the morning, I am alert. I am like, I am up because I have to, get up and go pee. And it's like,
there's no snoozing.
No. And I don't know. I actually don't know why this is. But when I wake up in the morning after I chug that, I have the best easiest wake up than I've ever had. Like, every time I do that, and I need to get back into that routine, but I always have water next to my bed, and literally before I turn the TV off in my room or put my book down, I chug the water, set my alarm, hit the hay. But then, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, ladies and gentlemen, this is a youthful bladder speaking.
I know, I feel so bad. I know. Maybe that'll
Who has not given birth.
Yeah, so we'll see how long that lasts. But then the other thing that you can do, I have a lot of people do, they say, I get to like noon or 1 o'clock and I have had no water. As soon as you wake up, before you drink your coffee, chug water.
That's what I do.
Okay, that makes sense. Yes.
So I do put a water bottle next to my bed at night too. So I can take, I might have a few sips before bed or whatever.
Yeah.
And I fill it with ice so it's nice and cool.
Yeah.
But when I get up in the morning and I'm getting ready for work before I have my coffee and all that, it's about a 24 ouncer. I drink that while I'm, after I get out of the shower, while I'm drying my hair, but that whole morning routine, that's in the bathroom with me and I'm drinking that.
That's
so I get that first 24 ounces down in the first, 20, 30 minutes I'm up.
Exactly. That's
and kind of the same idea. It kind of kickstarts my day a little bit.
Kickstarts your day.
Plus I've got 25% of my water in.
Yeah. It almost starts you feeling more accomplished, which is cool too.
Exactly.
It's crazy. I was thinking before we started this episode, I was like, this episode is going to take us like 5 minutes. How are we going to gauge water out for a while? But no, this is a topic that is so crucial. People don't really realize how important it is. And maybe think twice before you're hungry or tired. Sometimes I always do this. I'm like, I need another cup of coffee. And I'm like, I guess I should drink some water.
Well, and honestly, there's a lot of really other good side effects. Besides that, I noticed when I started drinking water how nice my skin got.
Yeah.
How moisturized it felt. Like I didn't have to just keep slathering on moisturizer. I don't really have any creaky, joints anymore.
Yep.
I think that helped with all of that. So there's a lot of other side effects that you don't even expect.
I want to say this. It does help lubricate your joints.
Yes. Maybe
that is a side effect, yes.
Yes, because I don't have a lot of that.
Yes.
Like aches and pains that I used to get.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, there's other things contributing to that besides the water, but but that was certainly, I'm sure, part of it.
Exactly.
But just even just the skin and the everything else just seems to be better.
Your digestive system, it helps you digest food properly, which is gut health is so, so, so crucial, which hopefully one day we can get somebody who has a little bit more expertise on to talk with us about gut health. Yes. So if you guys know anybody, let us know. I don't know anybody.
Right after we have J-Lo and
The Rock
DJ
on. That'd be awesome. Well, I'm going to keep manifesting that. I'm going to manifest that. We're going to manifest that. Manifest it with us, guys. All right. All right. Such a pleasure having y'all back with us this week. And
we'll see you next time on I Got This.
I Got This.
Thanks for joining us. If you enjoyed what you heard, please go to wherever you listen to podcasts and give us a 5-star rating. Also, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook at I Got This Pod. See you next week. And remember, I got this.